Silver Beneath by Larysa Radkowski. Each coming morning is a recreation of a previous dream. When the night comes, it destroys all things, all sunlight, all nature, all life remembered, is but an idea and dies away. Darkness remains, the presence of absence. Yet, with every dawn, the world remembers a dream it had just yesterday of being. Every dawn, the world is reborn again to the sound of periwinkle sighing. This is the truth. The little boy knew this story and he remembered it. Walking through the early dews with breaths of mist wreathing around his legs. He felt in their cold droplets the world condensing, the world that during night had vanished only to be recalled in morning, and the story once again came to mind. He walked through the low fog like a sliver of breath through a world of dust motes, until he came to a low rise that ended at the lonely edge of a pier for riverboats. The wood seemed to hover confusedly above the mist and the waters murmuring beneath them, as if someone had wished to make a bridge to the other side of a different world, but then abandoned the dream. The dock's end suddenly sloped to cold opal waters. In a thick mist, one would walk on air off of the pier had they not known where it ended. The boy knew the pier, as he knew the story, and he had no trouble walking down to where it awkwardly met the river. He sat on his knees and stared into the clearing mist, into the shimmering silver beneath. The river was quiet, as was he. They had reached some informal sort of understanding. On the other side, the shores and trees were so blurred that they seemed just an idea of what could have been, before their artists disliked that idea and smeared them incomplete. He traced the water with vacant eyes. Somewhere in the bog, a frog croaked and the wind whistled through reeds. He bent down closer until he felt dizzy and reached out a finger to tap the silver blue liquid glass. His mother, who said very little and meant even less, had told him several times to play far from this little riverbed, to forget it and this pier upon it, in fear of what? She never said. Drown, perhaps? The word meant nothing to his ears. The river was his only home. He knew not why he returned to that small house in the woods each evening when he felt his place was there, somewhere in those waves. He never could reach it before. He never could get home. But today, he lifted his finger lazily, watching as pieces of that uncrystallized world dribbled off of his skin and back into their source. He let it sink back down to the tip of that world beneath waves, and slowly he pushed his body over the dock to where his chest fell down to the beams holding the dock in place. Slowly, with silent movements, he leaned forward, leaned. It was so close now. Both hands were nearly in, just sparkling silver inches. And suddenly there was nothing solid beneath him. The dock was gone, and all before him was the color of gray opal. And then tendrils and light, and he was falling, falling, falling. Somewhere in that fall, he pushed through the barrier beneath the waves and the darkness. That barrier that breaks once to let you in, yet won't cut another wound to let you out. Your body too foreign for it to recognize. It all came so quickly that the boy probably never processed the idea before he felt warmth at the horrid thought that perhaps it was okay if the world forgot its dreams and never dreamt again. If the world maybe slept a little longer, an eternity longer, and it would always be dark, unrelenting, undisturbed. It wasn't warm, but it wasn't cold. It was, yet wasn't. He was, yet wasn't. He felt. He wanted so badly. Where in the world he left behind there would be bank mud, he put his head down and slept. When morning came the day after, the world forgot that it once dreamt of him. No longer did anyone come to the banks and remember a secret of the world's that was best kept safe. And he, the sun churned, forgot, remembered again, and day came anew. But he never was again.